Hi everyone, I'm Dunrui and I'm from China. I have worked in theaters for several years, so I'm now applying for the MFA directing in KLRs. I have been working in theater as different roles. I first started as associate director and I have been producers. And I'm now here to talk about my thoughts about directing. When we first started working on plays in 2002, we focused more on the social problems in China, or more particularly here in Changsha. There was a social event that the old city parts are removed from where it has been for a long time. Thus, many people that have lived there for a long time are forced to leave their hometown. We tried to add characters in the play we were working on that is called Zebra at Zebra, and this play was originally about young people that hasn't got the fortune to buy their own apartments or houses, so they try to share a rent room with each other, and the story starts between them. But when we thought we had a second thought about that, like the problem of them to not have the money to buy a house, and the problem of the people who are losing their houses are similar with each other. So we decided to add 4 actors of the constructive workers who are removing the old city district. And the story happens between the 2 sets of characters, the young people who are renting the house and the constructive workers who are removing the house. Are kind of interesting and more amusing than we thought it would be. And we tried not to make this story a tragedy, because the removement of the old district is a step of the social progress. So we want to make it seem positive and give people another way to think about it. And a year after Zebra and Zebra, we tried another classic play, Don't Dress for Dinner, which was originating from Paris, France, and we set the background, the given circumstances in Changsha, China, because it's kind of the same way, the same attitude towards marriage here happens now in China, because people are starting to have doubts about marriage and how marriage can keep 2 people together. And the play is mainly about several men and women who wants to have a dinner in the house, but there are several mistakes happening at one night. So it's a comedy, and the actors we picked are all comedians, and some of them are even crosstalk comedians, which is a traditional stand-up comedian form in China. And they also speak some of the Chinese dialects, so it makes it more like a story that would happen in China. And when we were thinking about the settings, we didn't have a really huge avenue for us to play in. We only have a theater that holds like 200 to 300 audiences. So the stage is not large enough to put all the windows and stairs and all the doors that is required in the play. So we painted the backgrounds of the house, the living room of the house, on a board. So it's funny that it reacts with the actors' acting performances, and it's amusing to the audience in another way. Like when they want to rush in the room, the door won't open, and or when they rushed in the room and the door wouldn't close. So that adds another amusement to the play. But we try to fix the plot before we are on the stage, but the actors did really well to have the whole thing together. And after that, I tried to become an executive producer because we had our first black box theater, which is really small, but we created a bunch of good things in there. And the play we created first is called Gangman, and this is a story about 3 men working in the porn industry, and there are a lot of adult jokes which couldn't be heard by children or teenagers, so we only let adults about 20 in the theater. But it is really a hit, and it's been going on for 3 years, and more than I think 100,000 people have seen it. So when we first rehearsed this play, it was quite dull, I think. Because we tried to perform as the text reads. But when we looked at our black box theater, which is new, we thought, why shouldn't we try something new? So we tried to add a lot of interactions between the audiences and the actors in the play. So by now, in the play, there are 1/3 of the time there is an audience interacting with the actors on stage or still sitting on their seats. So surprisingly, the audiences act better than we thought they would be, and they are more willing to participate in the play than just sitting in their seats and watch. So I think we have created a new way of interacting with audience. And by now, the most successful play that we have created is called Nothing Ever Changed, and this one has been invited to different cities and to different theater festivals to perform. And it's Chinese. It is based on Chinese history, and the story goes on for more than 2,000 years. And because it contains several historical events, so we kind of think of it as a realism. But it's unrealism in another way, that the people in it, the characters in it, have lived more than people should have lived, because the actors never changed in these actors. Lasts for 3 historical periods in China, which is Qin Dynasty, Song Dynasty, and the Republic of China. So the protagonists are not only in this play. There are 2 protagonists in it, and each one of them leads a storyline. But at the end of each scene, the story comes together to one. So it is well written. So the actors and the lines are really beautiful. When we directed it, we thought we can divide the stage into several parts, so the different storylines can happen in different places at the same time. And when we were doing the tag, we found that the different combos of the 3 principal colors should be used as the main lighting colors, and it creates a kind of surreal atmosphere in this play. And I think what I like most about this play is one supporting role. It's called 打金人 in Chinese, and it means the timekeeper when they don't have the real clocks in the ancient times. So they use the man who click on the luo, we call it in Chinese, at night to tell people what time is it now. And this man acts as the time track of this play, and also he tells what happens in the time period, what really happens in the history that helps the play to push forward. I think I like this character because though it is not in the main storyline, but it makes the play a lot more easier for the audience to understand and follow. And it also adds more tragic features to this play. And when the time tracker, the man that is tracking the time, said nothing happens today, nothing happens this month, nothing happens this year, and nothing ever changed. That is the time all of the audience shed tears. So I think I like this character most, and I think I made it to look best. And I've also tried to work in children's theater. I've got a chance to work with Chicken Shed theater company in London on a play called The Trickster King, Nancy vs. Monkey King. This is a play that tells the story about the trick competition between the best trickster in the East and the best trickster in the West. And it is made for the children to perform, so it's funny in a simple way. When I first heard about this program and this play, I was worried that I can't work well with children. And when I got into the crew, I saw a bunch of volunteers that helps the children with mental disabilities, and they have to play on stage. So it adds the difficulty for me because I have to work with children, and I'm in professional theater. In professional people in theaters, so I started to be concerned. But later on, when I learned about the concept of this play, all of these concerns went away. The concept of this play is called inclusive theater, which means we should value the creation, the creativity of everyone in theater, and we should listen to everyone, and we should discuss with each other what is the best. And director doesn't seem to be so important in this play, because every children, every volunteer, and everyone that works for the play matters. So I really enjoy the time working with the children and with others. It surprised me that how the children can perform on the stage, and it impressed me how they can express these genuine emotions on stage. I think they perform better even than the professional actors. And we had different ways of working with the children than working with the adults. Of course, we have the system of training them, and after training them, we asked the children to create their plots, and we gave them the subjects of this part of the play, and we divide them into groups, and each group should divide their own stories, their own plot to perform on the stage. So the creativity was stimulated, and the volunteers helped a lot to organize the children working together, and the play turns out to be astonishing. And when I saw the audience after the play standing up and applause for us, I thought the children was really amazing. I myself really feel at home in theater, and that's what I want everyone to feel. So to feel relaxed and free in a theater demands a great amount of trust. The actors trusting each other, the actors and the crew trusting the director, and the director trusting everyone. And when the play is put on, we also need the audience to trust the actors, to trust the stage, so they can feel what we want to share with them. So whenever I work with a group of people in theater, I try to respect everyone and tell everyone to be nice to one another. So the theater and the rehearsals can be really a nice atmosphere. And I also want the audience, when they walk into the theater, to feel warm and treated like a family.